My name is Jeannette from Uffelen and I am a behavioral specialist. And at this moment I've been traveling a lot in the last months, but at the moment I'm back in the Netherlands in the Veluwe, and most of my life I've been busy with three basic questions. Why do we have problems? Why do we repeat ourselves? Why do we repeat our traumatic experiences all the time? And of course, the most important question, how can we solve that? How can we get rid of that behavior? How can we change that? And I thought this would be a nice background for the first question. Because when you have a problem and you want to solve it, you have to start with the root of the problem. Why do we have problems? I believe we are raised to have problems. We are programmed to have them. So it's taught to us. When you keep people in fear, when you keep people stupid, they cannot grow. They can never find out who they really are and how big they are and how amazing we are. And I've been raised like that as well. And I was also programmed that there was always a problem. There were always problems. So when I was 20 years old, I started to work in psychiatric healthcare. Psychiatric care. And of course that made my belief that there was always a problem even bigger and stronger, because full time I was busy with solving problems, and we were not solving problems, we were just teaching people and ourselves how to deal with problems, and that's a big difference. So give it a place, we'd say. That's the most stupid thing you can do. When you cut your arm, you don't give it a place, you heal it. When you break a leg, you don't give it a place, you clean the wound, you heal it, you take some rest if necessary, you don't walk for some weeks, and you do anything, everything to heal it. But when it's psychotrauma, we say give it a place, deal with it. But that's also a thing you can heal. And so after years in doing that kind of work in crisis intervention and working with people who had to run from their home because of domestic violence and all kind of trouble, or refugees, I was done with it. I was tired after 12 years, something like that. So I changed profession. I went to work at IBM and I became an ICT specialist, informatica and communication technology. And I loved it. It was far away from people's problems. It was just working with machines and with computers, very technical. I love to develop that part of me. But after 2 years, I knew I'm more a people person, and I still had my big questions. So that's when I started to do training, give training again to people. And not about their personal problems, but about how to use a computer. But what I learned in this, so I never regret it. I'm really happy I learned it all. It was a big change in many ways, and it's very interesting. I learned so much of it, and I learned how to reprogram a computer. When your computer doesn't run, there's a bug. Search for it, find it, and get rid of it. Delete it from your computer and reinstall something new to replace it. And that's with technology, it gets older the more you use it. So you have to find the bug, replace it, install new software, and install some antivirus to keep your computer safe, not to be interfered by strangers, by hackers. And you have to do that once in a while, and you have to pay attention to it and keep doing it and updating and keep your computer clean. And we have to do the same with human beings. if you don't do that regularly, your computer gets stuck and it doesn't run anymore. It's the same with us. And the next question is, why do we repeat our traumas? Why do we relive them again and again? Not with the same people, but with different people. Why do we choose a certain type of person to fall in love with? Is it love? Why do we repeat our pain? And that is because we are programmed to do that. We are programmed from the day we were born. So wherever we grow up, that is our normal, even if it's totally crazy, because we don't know anything else. So a baby comes in a family or is given away, and then it's not your family, but other people who program you, foster parents or an institute. Wherever we are, we don't know anything else, and we are the first 7 years of our lives, we are totally open for everything that's going on around us. So, and we just adopt it and accept it and absorb it, because that's all we know. So if people love you and take care of you and carry you around and give you good food, that is your normal. So then you know you're worth good food, you're worth love, you're worth care. If your parents or people around you always fight, you learn that fighting is normal. So you become a fighter as well, or a victim. When there's money, worries about money all the time, people complain about that they don't have enough, they work hard, they have no money, they cannot afford anything, they cannot pay the bills, they tell you that money doesn't grow on trees. That becomes your normal, that becomes your money attitude. And even if you want to change it, that's hard when you grew up like this. And if your parents are living in abundance and money is no problem, you raise up with the program that money is no problem and that you can live in abundance as well. Whatever is your program, it starts there, and you have a program. So now the most important question is, how do you change that? The biggest gift you can give to yourself is changing your perception. And that's the most liberating thing you can do. Changing your perception, changing your beliefs, changing your conclusions about yourself, about life. You cannot change anything in the world, but you can change everything in yourself. And maybe you say, well, I can vote in a political party, I can protest, I can do my work, I can do this and this, but in all this doing, it's just very little, very tiny pieces, maybe that you can influence people. Of course, you can write a book, you can teach people, you can teach yourself, but if you change your perception, that's a transformation, and nothing can beat that. It's the most liberating thing, the most freeing thing you can do, and you can do it. You don't have to wait for anything else to do it for you, or for anyone else to do it. And there's been done a lot of research about all this. It's not that I made it up, even if I did. If it works, it works. But there's a lot of research done to monks when they are meditating, epigenetica, quantum physics, people who are healing themselves, the placebo effect, the nocebo effect, meditation, hypnosis, trance, the subconscious system. We know more and more, and we know we can use all this, and there are ways to do it, and you can do it as well. And why do I tell you all this? This is because I'm doing the Your Inner Power workshops and retreat. I've done it in the Netherlands, in the Scandinavian countries, and in Greece, of course, since some years. Last September we were in Corfu, and next May, we are going back to Corfu. And not only it's theory, but it's very practical as well, so your transformation will start from the moment you arrive. That's it for the moment. If you want to know more, call me, text me, send me an email, and I will see you in Corfu. Thanks for listening.